Hello everyone, Craig here. Thanks for joining and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Apple ticker symbol AAPL and some news catalysts as well as technical analysis. Just a reminder, I am not a financial advisor and this video is for entertainment purposes only. So let's dive right on in and take a look at Apple. A big news article that caught my attention this morning was that on CNBC the price target for Apple had been upgraded from $115 to $142 a share by company UBS. Personally, in my opinion, I believe that's a bit on the conservative side. I think Apple by the end of the year will easily hit 150 and most likely more, depending on how the overall market does for the rest of the year, barring any unseen financial setbacks. I think Apple will easily finish the year out at 150, possibly more. But 142 is the price target they've had. And I've seen a lot of similar articles and news here lately. At one point back in February, Apple had a price target of $85, which that's just way undervalued. I don't see that happening unless we just have a huge crash in the market. But there's no reason to think that. So yeah, this is definitely encouraging whenever you see these price targets being upgraded. I saw another one for $155. So there's not a whole lot of backing or meaning to this. It's just when you get these analysts coming up with these price targets, it's always good when they're increasing them. So just taking a look at some of the products that Apple has coming out and some of the other news for this year. They have AirTags are expected to come out possibly in April. AirTags are similar to the Tile device. It's a small Bluetooth device that you hook to your keys or your remote or any type of thing that you want to be able to find, and it'll start beeping to help you find that. Could be very useful. Another thing that they have coming out soon is a new iPad Pro, and that's going to have their A14X processor, which is going to double the GPU and CPU cores, make it twice as fast basically. And they're also talking about the possibility of 5G connectivity, which would definitely be useful. You could take it with you and have high-speed connectivity. They have some operating system updates. Basically everything is getting upgraded this year, which is typical that they do this pretty much every year. iOS 14.5 will be coming out, a new iPad OS 14.5, Mac OS, their Apple TV is getting an upgrade, a new OS for their watches. A new Apple Watch, the Apple Watch 7, will be coming out later this year. Probably sometime in September it looks like, but they haven't officially announced it yet or set any kind of release date, so that's something to keep an eye out later in the year. They also announced just yesterday that the WWDC Worldwide Developers Conference will be held June 7th through 11th. A couple things that we probably won't see out of Apple this year is a new iMac and a new version of the AirPods. In a few weeks, Apple is going to be announcing their 2021 Q1 earnings, April 28th. Another thing that Apple's been getting more involved in lately is the electrical vehicle and autonomous vehicles. So they haven't released a whole lot of information about what they plan to do with that as far as any firm release dates and details about their products, but that is definitely something they're working on, and if they expand into that could be a huge catalyst for the stock. Some other news today, the president announced a $2 trillion infrastructure spending plan, and that created an overall lift to the market. We saw the Dow Jones was down slightly, but it had just hit a new high earlier this week, so it's normal to see a little selling off there. But the S&P was up and NASDAQ was way up. This definitely had a boost to the growth in tech sector, which is what we like to see, especially when we're bullish on Apple. So we'll see how, once this infrastructure plan comes together, how that's going to impact the overall market. But I expect the tech and growth sector to continue to push, and hopefully this correction we've been going through over the last 5 or 6 years is over, and the Nasdaq will get back up to new highs. Taking a look at the S&P 500, you can see we were approaching new highs today. One thing I do want to just point out as we're looking at this chart on SPY is the potential for a double top. You can see about 2 weeks ago we hit up here at this 398 pricing. Today the upper wick broke above this 396 resistance and then pulled back down. The SPY has been pretty bullish, and it looks like it wants to test the 400 level, but just something to be aware of is if we see some pullback from this resistance level here, there is a potential of a double top, and if that were to happen, that's a bearish sign, and we could see some sell-off. There's nothing confirmed yet. We just have to keep an eye on it. I just want to make you aware that there is a potential for that. So let's take a look at Apple stock. I have the daily chart pulled up here. A couple key support and resistance levels to look at. Around this 137 line, that's going to be our upper support. You can see we tested it back in November of last year, and then late last year we tested it again, and then we actually broke through it in January in anticipation of their run-up due to their highly successful fourth quarter with the new iPhone having 5G coming out and doing really well. In the fourth quarter of last year, we broke through this support level, but then after earnings we had a big sell-off, and then been sold off pretty much through February and beginning of March, and now we're kind of trading sideways. We have a support level down here of 119, just under 120, that it was resistance back in November, and now it's become support for the last month or so. We've kind of been bouncing off of that, and then we have a resistance level here at this 125 level. We've tried to break above it a couple times in the past month and a half, but every time we've done that, we've fallen back down into this channel. So we'll have to keep an eye on it, and hopefully we can get above this resistance level soon and start seeing some more positive momentum on the chart. You can see the RSI is looking okay, and the MACD is looking a little bearish down here below zero. It looked like back in the middle of March we tried to get a bullish crossover here, but now it's just kind of flat. So we'll have to keep an eye with the positive news catalyst. Hopefully we'll see some positive price action. Now let's take a look at the 30-minute time frame, and you can see in the last week it just emphasizes how we've been trading in this 119 and a half or so to 125 channel. We've tested the resistance level a few times, and then we've tried testing the support, and today was really good. We opened up and had this big candle push upward to around 123, and then continued to rise through the first half of the day, and then the second half of the day we kind of sold off, and right before closing had a relatively large sell-off, but we still managed to close above opening for the day to have a positive day. And then in the aftermarket there was a bit of a run up, so that's always good to see. So just in conclusion, Apple is such a fundamentally strong stock. There's no reason to think that they can't continue to rise and impress. They have almost $200 billion in cash on hand, and they're constantly expanding, buying new businesses, and coming up with new innovative ideas. So I think Apple is a great buy right now. being around this $120 range, there's definitely a lot of growth potential to it. It's a good long term hold. As always, you definitely want to do your own due diligence before making any kind of investment. But Apple has been consistently outperforming the overall market in the S&P 500, and there's no reason to assume that it won't continue doing the same from this point forward. So, um, but yeah, just take a look at Apple and give it some consideration. Thanks again for watching my video, and hopefully you found this information helpful. If so, please give it a like and also consider subscribing. Also, you can leave any questions or comments below. Thanks a lot and have a great day.